Viewers, when the Prime Minister inaugurated the Ram Mandir on the 22nd of January, he emphasized in his speech that Ram belongs to all. It was a unifying message to all citizens of the country. And in fact, now we're seeing the VHP write a letter talking about the Western media, which doesn't appear to be very happy with that message. Now, in the coverage, the VHP is alleging that there's a focus on how a mosque was demolished to build the Ram temple. There's little emphasis on how the mosque was built on the ruins of a temple in the first place. The report has also drawn a link with the upcoming election, saying that the temple has been built at the site of the raised mosque that will help the Prime Minister win a third term. VHP also says that the Western media's reporting on the temple consecration suffers from bias and peddles hate and hinduphobia. The VHP chapters in United States, Canada, Australia have slammed the coverage by the Western media and sought a public apology from these media houses, because they said that even the Supreme Court judgment on the basis of which the temple construction took place has not been referred to. Listen in.
Vishwa Hindu Parishad of Canada expresses its deep concerns and strongly condemns the publishing of misleading information regarding construction of Sri Ram Temple in Ayodhya. Some media outlets, with a few in Canada also, have recently published articles containing inaccuracies, distorting the facts surrounding this issue. They allege wrongly and highlight that Sri Ram Temple was built atop a raised mosque. These media houses are engaged in display of irresponsible journalism, publishing false accusations against the Hindu community globally, as well as that in Canada. VHP Canada condemns these news platforms for spreading a false narrative and fostering hate and Hinduphobia against our peace-loving Hindu community.
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 2 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
For more on this, we have with us Ratan Sharda, author. Also with us is Amitabh Mittal. He's the General Secretary of the VHP-America, who wrote that letter. Vivek Srivastava, political analyst, continues to be with us. Advocate Umar Junaidi, political analyst, is also with us. Let me start with you first, Amitabh Mittal. You've written this letter. Now, if I can play devil's advocate, there will be those who say that we were only referring to what has happened in recent times. Of course, the point that you make about the Supreme Court judgment and what happened in the past has not been mentioned. But there are those who say that we were only talking about what's happening in the current context. How would you respond to that criticism? Amitabh Mittal.
Good morning and good evening to everyone. Namaskar. I would like to say to all the short fast food generation to understand, when you tell a story, you have to start from the very beginning. You know, there's a famous song that in Sound of Music, when you learn, you begin with ABC. When you sing, you begin with Do, Re, Mi. So you cannot just start from the middle of the entrance. You have to tell the whole story, otherwise you're giving the wrong impression. And the story is not very long. Its timeline is very clear. 1528 to 2024, it is a clear timeline. Destruction of a Ram temple is written by the Mir Baki, by himself, and has been proven in the Supreme Court of India. Indian Hindus across the world patiently waited and fought for this place for 500 years. The fight is not with, physical fight. It's logical fight. We presented our side. We showed the evidence. So what I have the entire history on one page. Right. It doesn't take the media to print this page.
You've written your letter. You've expressed several of your points, and in fact, let me take that across to Umar Junaidi. Umar Junaidi, Mr. Amitabh Mittal's letter specifically mentions, and I'm quoting, in 2019, a 5-judge panel of the Indian Supreme Court, which included a Muslim judge, unanimously declared that the mosque was built on the ruins of a Hindu structure. This fact has been conveniently omitted, is what the VHP is saying. Your response, Umar Junaidi.
Madhav, the Supreme Court has clearly stated that the Babri Masjid was constructed on a structure. This doesn't mean that the Babri Masjid was constructed by demolishing the Ram Mandir. Supreme Court in the 1045 pages never mentioned that the Babri Masjid was built by demolishing the Ram Mandir, but it stated that in the year 1992 the demolition of Babri Masjid was unlawful, and the fact is, on the reins of the masjid, the temple has been built today. It is the fact given by the Supreme Court. These are not my words. And I would like to say that the Western media had a courage to show what the fact was. So now why VHP is getting reactions on it?
Let me get in Ratan Sharda on that. Okay. Okay, Ratan Sharda, in fact, the exact quote, in fact, even in the VHP letter is that the mosque was built on the ruins of a Hindu structure. What Umar Junaidi is saying that where's the proof that a Hindu structure or a temple was demolished? That's the question he's asking. Ratan Sharda.
Good about history, because they don't believe their own history, they don't believe the invaders' history. They believe that Earth is flat. They believe that sun moves around around the earth, and with this kind of argument, they want to say that ASI report does not mean anything.
One by one, please.
What was the ASI? What was the ASI? What is the ASI report? You will deny that report. You will deny the complete radiograph of the place. You will deny the historical evidence. You will deny the Puranic evidence. You will deny the local evidence. There is a whole Rajput clan which did not wear pagadi and shoes for 500 years because they had fought with us first to fight. So don't make up stories, don't be selective.
Mr. Junaidi, nobody interrupted you. Please let him make his point. We'll come back to you. There's Vivek Srivastava also is yet to speak. One by one, I'm coming to each of you. You can respond to him.
Complete Supreme Court judgment is based on ASI report, based on hard facts. You can't deny that. You can keep on saying, you can quote partially. It's your freedom. As far as VHP is concerned, when your history people like Wendy and Audrey Tushke, which says that Aurangzeb was a very benign king, he made more temples than destroyed temples. When you fight, when Gyanvapi is clear evidence of being a temple, you fight for it, saying that hamare se kyon le rahe ho? So you will not talk about Mathura, you will not talk Kashi, where evidence is right in front of a blind person. You so that is also not evidence, because you will not accept any evidence which goes against supremacist attitude of invaders. You being supporting invaders are actually hurting the Muslim community by creating stories which are all false. You deny your own invader story. You deny their own historical proofs. The idea that 80 million Hindus were decimated from 1080 to 1525 as per the calculation of population, you will deny that also. You will deny. You have people like Sheldon Pollock, a Trojan, sitting in the Mutri library claiming that Sanskrit is dead language. You have to say Sanskrit from the Hindu text. So you will take everything as is varies from the colonials and claim history. You are only copy pasting. You have none of your own. You will never have your own evidence because you don't have. You are lazy intellectuals. You only follow Australian, American.
Vivek Srivastava, you are lazy intellectuals. You just copy paste from the West. That's the direct charge coming from Ratan Sharda. Please respond to that.
Yes.
He has
talked of Madhav. He has talked of everything. He has talked of the whole world, but the Supreme Court judgment. विशेषाधिकार उसके तहत ये जजमेंट आई है राइट ऑफ फेथ मैटर ऑफ फेथ एंड आई विल टेल यू द सेक्शन आल्सो ओके सो डू नॉट ट्राई टू मिसकोट द विश्व हिंदू परिषद कैन राइट एनी ट्रैश दे वांट इट्स नॉट इंपॉर्टेंट यू आर नॉट कोटिंग दैट रिपोर्ट दैट्स द फर्स्ट पार्ट सेकंड पार्ट नाउ द टेंपल इज ओवर सो देयर इज नो डिस्प्यूट सुप्रीम कोर्ट जजमेंट प्लीज लेट मी स्पीक नाउ दैट द टेंपल इज देयर इज नो डिस्प्यूट आपने सब कुछ बोला सुप्रीम कोर्ट का जजमेंट नहीं बोला सेकंडली अरे सुनिए सर सुनिए मिसकोट मत करिए ना सुप्रीम कोर्ट जजमेंट को व्हाई इज द VHP misquoting the Supreme Court judgment?
There is a stone slab.
No, forget about the Hindu structure. A mob goes. Listen, Ratan Sharda, listen. Ratan Sharda, rhetoric नहीं, आप सुनिए.
To fight a losing battle.
नहीं, मैं कोर्ट को मानता हूँ सर, आपकी कहानियां नहीं मानता मैं. I believe in the Supreme Court of India and what it says is final. Everybody accepts the temple. But we don't believe your stories of hatred. We don't believe your stories of hatred. Hatred was on 6 December 1992 when a mob goes and breaks a masjid or a structure. That was hatred. And India got a black name. India got a black face because of people like you.
One second. Vivek Srivastava, calm down. You may have a point as far as what is been stated or what in terms of the point of the ruin of a Hindu temple on which the masjid was built. But at the end of the day, the fact is that if the Western press, one second, Vivek Srivastava, the same Supreme Court judgment that you are referring to, if that is omitted in these news reports, isn't that being a little less than economical with the truth?
Sir,
they speak
on 6th of December 1992, a mob goes and breaks a structure. Now let me speak. please let me speak now. Don't interrupt. A mob goes and breaks a structure which could have been a masjid or may not have been a masjid. Total mobocracy.
Yes, and that has been criticized in the same Supreme Court judgment, sir. But why not admit that this is the Supreme Court which has allowed the construction of the temple?
On 22nd of January. No, please. The Western media is saying the same thing that the opposition is saying. And on 22nd
all right,
of
completely out of time, gentlemen. In fact, I'd like to thank all of you, Ratan Sharda, Amitabh Mittal, Vivek Srivastava, and Advocate Umair Junaidi for joining us this evening. Clearly an issue which has seen very, very different polarized views. We've seen a massive political fight on this issue in the last several days, and now it's the Western media's coverage that has become fodder for a big political debate as well. I'd like to thank all our guests for joining us this evening.